My name is IZZA Khan, and this is IZZA KHATOON, one of Canada's Maple Foundation's youth leaders. Today we're going to be talking about smart cities. Smart cities is a municipality that uses information and communication technologies, for example ICT, to increase operational efficiency, share information and communication with public, and improve both the quality of government services and citizen welfare. So, why are smart cities important, and what are they?
So basically technology is advancing at a very exponential speed, and according to the UN, by 2050 we're going to have a population of 10 billion people on Earth, and of those 10 billion, 70% of those people are going to be living in urban cities. We need to include technologies into every aspect of life. So that includes in manufacturing processes, in transportation systems, energy systems, in healthcare, obviously, education, recreation, all that.
Okay, amazing. So my first question for you is, how does transportation look like in the future for smart cities?
So, smart cities will have a really big effect on transportation. First of all, we will have more self-driving automated cars with the use of artificial intelligence and 5G technology. And within that artificial intelligence, we will have automated sensors and GPS systems that are a lot more accurate and have higher speed and data collection than previous networks. So that will also include self-driving trucks for like transportation of goods, and that will also include drones. So a lot of companies, including in the shopping industry, so companies like Amazon, eBay, stuff like that, they will rely on drones for faster shipping methods.
A really good example of this is Tesla. So in our last episode, we talked about Elon Musk, which you guys should check out. But yeah, that's an amazing point that you got there.
So if you've seen how people in the past portrayed the future, like, you know, with flying cars, with like bullet trains, speeding trains and stuff like that, yes. I'm sure you've watched Back to the Future, all movies, like futuristic movies like that.
All those movies,
They've portrayed the future and smart cities in general really well, because
yes.
in the future we will be seeing exactly that.
Yeah.
So we will be seeing a lot of sky-rise buildings with helipads at the top, where like drones will drop off shipments, and we will be seeing flying cars. So that will include automated cars like Ubers, and we'll have a lot of train systems surpassing as well.
We've seen a lot of smart homes as well. A lot of smart homes and stuff in different movies portraying the future.
Yeah.
So what do you think about smart homes?
So smart homes will also obviously come under artificial intelligence, and just like how smart cities are, like in smart cities, artificial intelligence is interconnected with all kinds of devices. We will have that in smart homes as well. So we will be able to handle and control everything with a touch of a remote. You could switch your blinds off and on, turn the lights off and on with a switch of a remote. It's like the most convenient thing you could ever have.
How easy will that be, eh?
Yeah, you don't even have to move from your seat.
Oh.
Another big part of smart homes is going to be security systems. So there will be cameras that you can take a look into when you're far away from home. So you can manage everything that's happening within the smart home when you're far away from it. It's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you can unlock and lock a door too, and with the help of like with the help of drones, if something's being dropped off at your house, you can access the drone into the house so that you could receive the package while you're out of home.
Okay, speaking of security systems in smart homes, how is security going to be displayed in the smart cities in the future?
So yeah, just like the security cameras in smart homes, cameras all over smart cities will have artificial intelligence softwares like facial recognition that will be able to recognize a person's facial expressions, so that can eventually stop violence from occurring. So if you have a violent person who wants to commit a terrorist act, for example, let's just say, those cameras will be able to detect that before it even happens and stop it from happening.
That's a really good point right there.
Another part about security cameras in smart cities is that, yes, they will be able to recognize facial expressions or facial profiles, so they can ID people that are possibly criminals.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to note them out of a big crowd as well.
That comes in hand for the police as well.
Yeah.
How does 5G affect the manufacturing process in the smart cities?
5G and artificial intelligence. So with artificial intelligence, we will have automation in industries, and automation is basically assigning roles to different machines and robots, and within those roles they'll be able to be functional within an industry. So just like human beings, they'll have different roles assigned to them, and they'll be able to create product. You know how IKEA works, right?
Yes.
It has different pieces of furniture, and when you order that furniture, you get those pieces delivered separately in different boxes. It's pretty excruciating because you have to put everything together by yourself.
It's very organized though.
I guess so. But with 3D printing, you can make that whole piece of furniture just by itself. You don't have to attach any pieces together.
That's
it's
amazing.
Just by itself. It is, yeah.
Wow.
And one more process in manufacturing, which artificial intelligence helps us with, is robotics. And basically, in robotics, I'm sure you've seen Iron Man,
yes.
right? And in that movie, there's Tony Stark, right? And he's walking on a catwalk, sort of. And while he's walking, he's got different robotics around him, and they're putting like pieces of his suit together.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The Iron Man suit. And basically that's what manufacturing is going to look like in smart cities. There's going to be different robotics, different robots putting together pieces, for example, of the self-driving car that we talked about previously.
Okay, IZZA, moving on to the next question. How will construction be more accessible in the future?
So in smart cities, construction is going to look a little like, it's going to be drones basically, and those drones can lift about 200 kilograms of weight.
Wow.
And they will be able to transport materials for construction from point A to point B pretty efficiently. And like the way how I mentioned 3D printing before,
yeah,
they will actually use materials from that 3D printing, so that would be fabricated materials, in order to build residential homes and commercial areas, commercial buildings, more quicker.
And it's going to be more accessible for the workers as well, much easier.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. The media and entertainment industry are booming right now. How do you think that industry will look like in the future within smart cities?
So within the entertainment industry, we're going to have more aspects of virtual and augmented reality. As you know already, virtual reality is a really big thing in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
A lot of games are being converted into virtual reality, and people are getting more real experience within gaming instead of being there in actuality.
Yeah.
So that also comes to like GPS. So with augmented reality or AR, you'll be able to see what's ahead of you. You'll be able, for example, if you want to reach a certain location, you can actually look at exactly what it looks like in like a 3D experience.
Yeah.
And in the shopping industry, actually, that helps a lot when it comes to people who want to try on clothes before they want to buy the clothes. So they won't even have to step out of their homes. They can actually input a 3D version of themselves into augmented reality, and they can see how a certain piece of clothing looks on them or suits them. It's
right.
interesting.
Amazing. I've seen something like that online as well, where you just take a picture of yourself and you have clothes that you can put on online on your picture.
It's like Bitmoji, but instead of the Bitmoji, it's your actual self.
Amazing.
Avatar, yeah. And another part of the entertainment industry, which I mentioned earlier, is virtual reality. And actually, the other day I went to the Rec Room. I don't know if you've been there, but it's it's an arcade, and all age groups can go there. It's like all types of different games.
Yeah.
And one of the games, the arcade games in there, was a virtual reality. So it was a little box. You go into it, it's completely dark, it's completely shut out. and it gives you a full 360 experience.
Yeah.
So, and you can choose different themes. I chose a horror theme. And it looks like you're there. It looks like you're there. It felt like I was at the haunted house, and it was an amazing experience. And in the same way, you can actually travel around the world with virtual reality while sitting in one position. My dad actually brought these really cool virtual reality goggles home one day, and I wanted to give it a try. So on YouTube, I searched a video of the Eiffel Tower in Paris,
Yeah.
and when I put the goggles on, it looked like I was standing on top of the Eiffel Tower, and it just looked like you're part of that immersive experience without actually being there
Yeah.
physically.
I've actually experienced something very similar. I was on YouTube one day and I was watching a bunch of different closet tours. So I saw this one and it was like 360. So the camera movement was like 360, and you could move, when you move your phone,
Yeah.
you could see like the different sects. So the person could be talking, but like you could see the other part of the rooms, the other clothes and everything else, which is
That's
very,
right.
very cool.
Yeah.
And I've also like went to an arcade before, and there was this machine where like it was, you were sitting down, but then there was a huge video screen, and there was like air blowing at you, and there was water coming at you, like you were at an actual roller coaster. So it was very, very cool, and it was an amazing experience.
That's
Which it
really
connects with
interesting.
virtual reality.
Yep, so it has increased and influenced our entertainment experience a lot. And,
Definitely has.
With tourism, it's made tourism less popular now because people, obviously, with tourism, there's budgeting, and with the economy these days, you know, there's not enough that people can dedicate to traveling. So instead of tourism, they can use that as a different way to have that kind of virtual reality experience.
Yeah, another really good example is movie theaters. Like there's so many similar experiences, like 4D.
Yeah.
There's going to be in the future wind blowers, and then water. Your chair could be moving around, and you could feel like you're actually in the moment, facing like the experience and the action and everything.
That's
Which I
right.
think is super duper cool.
Yeah.
So one go. So you know when you're in a movie theater, right? And you're sitting, for example, I watched Jurassic Park like a pretty long time ago, but it was in 3D, and I felt like it was really close up to me, but I didn't really feel like I was there. So nowadays, cinema is going up to 70, 80, 90. It's going up really, really high. So it feels like when you're sitting on a chair, you could feel the air. When like a character is moving on a bike, your chair is moving. When there's air, you feel the air. If it's raining, you feel the little sprinkles of water.
That's right.
And if there's a specific smell that they introduce in the film, like, oh, it smells like a fish or something, and you smell fish or that fragrance or something like that. So I think that's very, very cool. It definitely comes into the entertainment industry. How does 5G and artificial intelligence affect healthcare within smart cities?
So I guess the first thing we can talk about is how 5G and artificial intelligence will be implemented in ambulances. So basically in the first stages of a person who needs medical attention.
Faster transportation.
So yes, there will be faster transportation, but the ambulance will be equipped with any and all equipment that they might need to diagnose a person's issue and to help them immediately within the ambulance. So basically in smart cities, the patient might already be diagnosed and or cured before they reach the hospital. So that is probably the most interesting part that I think 5G will affect healthcare. Another thing is that I recently learned that this robotic part of the artificial intelligence is actually carrying out surgeries. And I've heard like surgeons are sitting at home and they're controlling robotics, and those robotics are carrying out whole entire brain surgeries while the surgeon is just sitting at home.
That's so much easier, right? Because you can spend so much more time with your family, doctors here that are listening, and it's so much easier because I know that it's so hard for doctors and nurses when they're at home. They're just sitting there, and like they have to, if there's an emergency, they have to go right to the hospital. So it's really hard. But I think that's an amazing technology piece.
It's also really effective because it doesn't leave any room for human error. Because as much experience as doctors are, there's obviously going to be human error in many
Definitely
ways
gonna make mistakes
within the surgery room. So that, it completely gets rid of that as well. It's really interesting.
Amazing.
Another aspect of healthcare is going to be telemedicine, or telemedicine is basically virtual healthcare. So the patient can just be sitting at home home, and they'll be able to talk to a doctor virtually. The doctor will be able to diagnose the patient virtually and send medicine their way too. So it's all pretty convenient. And with the help of 5G, basically, is that all that data collection is going to be quicker, and transporting and delivering medicine is going to be quicker. So in many ways, healthcare will just be more efficient.
I'm going to get into artificial intelligence. I want to say that, for example, if you get into an accident, right, and you need to go to the doctors the next day or a few days after to get physiotherapy done, right? So if you have a VR set with you, you can contradict with your doctor, and then instead of going all the way there, at home, literally at home, they can give you the exercises. You can do them at home, which I think is super duper cool.
That's right. And I believe that with artificial intelligence, people won't even rely on doctors anymore. They'll actually rely on that artificial intelligence. They will ask that particular artificial intelligence software what exactly is wrong with them. So I feel like at one point in smart cities, artificial intelligence will be diagnosing patients, not doctors.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't know if this is going to be a thing, or if it's going to be in the near future. But I've heard that, you know how we have cells in our spines, in our bone marrow, that basically those cells can transform into all kinds of cells in our body to help with our immune system. I heard that hopefully artificial intelligence will be able to create a technology that will be able to transform particles into different body cells that a patient might need. So it's really interesting.
So we're already getting into a little bit of plastic surgery. That's already implanted very, very well. People are changing everything about their bodies, and it's very easy to do. But then, like, things that can't be changed, like eye color, and, for example, root, like actual hair color. I've seen that there is different information where before you're even born, there could be something where you could change genders. I've seen something like that. Genetic mutation, yes. And then, like, you could have different eye colors, or if you want blonde hair or black hair, something like that could also happen. I've definitely seen a lot of that, which I think is super cool. Imagine changing the gender of your child. What do you guys think about that? I think that it's crazy.
You're talking about the physical features, right? But I think that have you heard of Dolly, the clone, the sheep clone that they made? She passed away, but she was a very successful experiment. And I believe that with that same technology that's involved with artificial intelligence, you can make artificial organs for humans in need.
I think that's super cool as well. It could save many lives. What do you think about clones within smart cities in the future?
I think clones would I feel like with artificial intelligence, so it comes back to the idea that when artificial intelligence combines with robotics, we can have a very strong version of a human being.
And if you need someone at a business meeting, like you need your boss at the business meeting and he's busy with something else, you can have a clone. I mean, that's amazing. I think that's so cool.
I'm not sure if you watched those Mission Impossible movies where they make a mask out of 3D printing. Actually, they make a mask of an actual face with 3D printing technology.
That'd be so convenient, eh? That would be so convenient.
But that's kind of a privacy risk, because anyone can then take someone's face and then create a 3D mask out of it.
It can also help with lots of like criminal investigations and stuff. Definitely help a lot of police officers, private investigators and stuff. So I think that's really good.
And I think that comes back to how it's going to affect safety. And I think that with criminal investigations and also virtual reality, you can actually lay out a crime scene with virtual reality to see exactly what happened and how it happened,
points and everything,
to be able to catch different points.
Which is amazing for the future. Thank you, IZZA, so much for joining us today and educating us highly about the smart cities.
Of course.
So in our next program, we're going to be talking about 5G and 6G technology and how it affects our privacy and our issues and how it's going to impact our health and how it is going to be bringing these structural changes in the job market. So I also want to let you guys know that we have a Gmail linked in the bio. We would like to know your information and who you guys would like to see on this podcast. We would like you guys to comment. Please comment, give us your feedback. Please subscribe to this channel and let us know what you guys would like to see in the future. From our youth group, we have so much more different podcasts and different programs and stuff that we want to do. So please give us your feedback and we'll definitely look into it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.